Welcome to Ohio FFA Career Connection. Throughout this series, we will explore just a few of the vast career opportunities in Ohio agriculture. Whether you want to work on a farm or in an office, laboratory, field, or classroom, FFA prepares us to be successful. Together, we'll get to know various professionals and learn how we can jumpstart our future careers while still in FFA. Let's get started. Today, I'm excited to visit with Todd Pugh, the founder and CEO of Enviroscape. So thanks for being with me here today, Todd.
It's great to be with you also. As you can see, I'm standing out in nature, which is a lot with what we do with our business. So I'm glad to be here.
Great. Well, let's start by sharing some of your background. So how did you begin with your landscaping company?
So I was raised in kind of rural America, probably a lot of the FFA kids, and so my grandpa was a dairy farmer, and so I spent a lot of time on the farm and enjoyed that, baling hay in the summer, milking cows, and then kind of the family farms in Ohio were a little bit of a tough go back, still like they are probably today. So, but I always loved being outdoors. I always loved working, with my hands. And really the start of the business was, I had a good work ethic, but I needed some tennis shoes for the basketball team in the 8th grade. And the tennis shoes I wanted were a little more money than what my parents thought I should have. So the only way to bridge that gap was to go out and find some money. And so one day, Sunday, coming home from church with our family, we saw an older gentleman mowing his yard. My dad said, "Why don't you go down there and see him?" So that was the start of actually Enviroscapes. When I was 14 years old, I didn't think I was going to do this as long as I have. I did it for tennis shoes, but once I started doing it, I loved being outdoors. I loved the customers, and that was really started the business. So a couple of, lessons there was, going to church created an opportunity, on our way home. And then also a good work ethic, will create opportunities.
From going to that car ride to and from church to seeing him mow his lawn, how has your career evolved since being that 14-year-old kid to being a CEO right now?
It's been, I'm 50 now, so I still feel like I'm 18, but I am 50. And I got to tell you, it's been a wonderful journey. I've got a beautiful wife, 3 kids that are 2 in college, 1 in the workplace, and a lot of the same values that we were able to instill. My parents instilled in us. I've been able to instill in children through 4-H, through showing cattle at a national level. And then we also have a farm now that's a hobby farm for us. So for me, it's been a great journey. I've met some incredible people. Just yesterday, we worked on a 3.5-year project for Firestone Park. And, from a kid, from the country to be sitting at a grand opening of a park that was donated in the 30s from the Firestone family and seeing 10 of the Firestones back in town that hadn't been there for years, and to be a part of the company that built all that, it's been pretty cool. So, I'd like to just say, live no little dreams or dream no little dreams, because anything's possible, if you put your mind to it and stay at it. It all takes time. Everybody wants everything yesterday, but it takes time, and it's been a wonderful journey. So I'm sure we'll talk more about that.
What have been some of your favorite projects that you've worked on throughout your career?
When I first started, I've never did landscaping before. So, pulling out a couple shrubs and replacing them with a few new shrubs was a great project when you're 16 years old. It was a couple $100 project, and you're like, wow, that was awesome. And laying the first brick patio, it's like, wow, that was cool. And today we're doing, multi-million-dollar projects. We're doing major, fulfillment centers, parks, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We just completely re-landscaped that. And we also have built the business into multiple locations and over 200 team members. So it really started out all about Todd, and now it's really all about the team. So it's just been a big transformation. And so today it's kind of interesting because we're doing projects that, I guess I never dreamed we'd be able to do, and the amount of vehicles and equipment. So it's pretty cool.
What does today look like for you after our interview is over?
Well, today, in the role I'm in, it's really about creating opportunities, not only for our team, but for our clients. So, I'm more the visionary of the company. So I'm always looking for the next opportunity, the next new team member, making sure the work that we're doing meets the brand, the Enviroscapes brand, and what it stands for. So, but just this summer we got into a large project, and I strapped on the boots again and went out and worked for 40 days, 7 days a week with my son on a project and our team, and I loved it. So hopefully, total success for me would be back in the field someday and hire, somebody to run the company, because I love the work. That's why I got in it. I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy the equipment. But with the organization today, we have 6 locations and north of 200 team members. Since, some farm kids will hear this, we mow over 3,500 acres a week of finished mowing with lawnmowers. So that's quite a bit of grass to cut. And then we run about 15 construction crews. And then we also have a clearing division where we open up and keep right-of-ways for the power companies open. So we're pretty diverse. And then the wintertime, we do a lot of snow removal. So we do about 3,000 acres of snow removal and about 40 miles of sidewalks in a 6-hour period in the middle of the night. So that takes about 300 people to do that, and about $10 million worth of equipment. So it's quite a unique business, always pushing technology. Technology is changing our business. Our vehicles all have GPS in them now. All of our time capture for the guys working in the fields done remotely, so there's no paperwork. So there's just a lot of, things change fast. And if you don't change, you won't keep up. So I try to stay out ahead. I like to think, one of our core values is being innovative. So I try to be very innovative in, how I approach my day.
You said you went to Ohio State. What education did you have at Ohio State?
My degree was in landscape horticulture. So the best part of the Ohio State experience for me was really the people I met. It's funny. I spent hours and hours studying plant identification back in the early 90s when I was there. And today you can get an app on your phone and take a picture and it tells you what it is. So that's just one of those ideas of technology. But to me, it was really the people I met. The contacts I made when I was down there that has really helped, me grow the business, because I'm a big networker. I have over 7,000 contacts in my cell phone, and I take pride in meeting cool people and staying in touch with them, and building basically my network to make sure that, when you're in college, you're not allowed to cheat. You have to study for the test. But in business, you can go find people that have the answers and then learn a lot faster that way, because you only have so many days to live. So the faster you can learn, the faster you're going to grow.
Along with your horticulture and landscaping degree, what training did you have? Did you go to any professional development things to learn how to become a CEO of a company, or was it all just kind of trial and error?
I think the nice thing about the landscaping industry, and I'd say this is true with farming too, and a lot of ag-related industries, people are very sharing. And, so in our business is fairly geographic. So we're in Northeast Ohio and a little bit in Columbus. And, so a guy in Indiana, I'm not competing with. So, you can go and share with all these other businesses. So most of my learning came from other businesses that were in the same business. So I'd go visit them for 2 or 3 days, shadow them, learn, take away 1 or 2 nuggets, and then implement them and execute them in our business. So that was really my growth. The other thing is too, that's kind of cool about the landscape business, is a lot of the people that hire you are very successful people, because it's not a cheap service to offer. So I was continually working for a lot of businessmen and women, and I'm a very curious person. So I'd always ask a lot of questions. What would you do if this was your business? How would you scale this business? What's your life like at a manufacturing facility? So we spent a lot of time, when I was out with our clients, I just always ask questions, and in turn, most successful people want to help others. And so I was blessed with some of the greatest clients in the world who were, sometimes they told me things I didn't want to hear. They were very honest and candid with me, maybe about the quality, maybe about the design, maybe about our team. But I appreciate that looking back, because those are the same people that, it sunk in with me, and I'd go back and fix it or work on it. So I learned from a combination of ways. The intellect is great, but then you also have to have street smarts and then go out and learn from people that were doing it. And I always had a philosophy that I wanted to go learn from somebody that already had done it and they had a business that looked like I wanted mine to look. So I met a great mentor back in 2001 from Cincinnati, and Mike and I have become great friends since. And he had a business with 600 employees when I had 60. And basically, I could go down there and get all the answers to the test and then just execute on it. And that was really the growth of our business. And I've always helped along the way. I mean, anybody that ever had a question, I've mentored tons of young businessmen. And, so it's been a fun kind of full circle.
What makes you get to go to work and not have to go to work?
That's a great question. And we just did a bunch of town hall meetings with all of our guys and gals and asked them, what gets you out of bed? What gets you here? So, because if you don't have a purpose in life, you're not going to make it. And I think one thing that anybody's that's listening to this, if you're good at what you do and you're passionate about it, you'll be successful. And one of my best learning, I was a sophomore at Ohio State. I came home. I was working for a client, and my most successful client at the time. And I said, do you really think I can make a living mowing grass? And my client said to me, he said, Todd, he said, if you're the best at what you could do, you can make a living pushing a banana cart, down the street and selling bananas. And I looked at him, I said, are you serious? He goes, yeah, I believe that. And once he said that to me, that's really stuck true to me too, that whatever you want to do, you can do and make a living at it if you're the best at it. And you're very, very passionate about it. So what gets me out of bed, to get back to your question, is the fact that, I mentioned it earlier, it used to be about Todd, now it's about the team. But our purpose as a company is to create an environment where you can achieve more than you believe possible. And I'm a perfect living example of that. I was trying to mow grass and get some tennis shoes, and now have a very successful, multi-million-dollar business that has been grown with a great team. So to me, what gets me out of bed today is helping everybody live our purpose. I want to see people that work for us, that came just as a laborer or just needed a job or had hardship in their life and they just needed a bridge. And then that we create this environment that they can achieve more than they believe possible. And we got hundreds of examples in our company of people that have done just that. So that's what gets me out of bed is, building great landscapes. That's cool. I've done that for a long time. I can almost do that in my sleep. So now it's about building great people.
Todd, you've talked some about your hard work, your work ethic, and what you've had throughout your career. But what are some skills you've developed over the course of your career that help you be great at your job?
Yeah, I think, we all have the same amount of time. So it's prioritizing your time and what you should be working on. I think that's when I really look at a lot of people, and sometimes the people that have the least going on in their life seem the busiest, and the people that have the most going on just seem to go through life effortlessly. So I kind of like trying to say it, if you can see life in slow motion, you'll make the right decisions. And I heard Tom Brady, talk about that in football. They said, when did you become great? And he said, when I could see life, the football field in slow motion. Everybody else was running super fast, but I could see it in slow motion. So to me, it's, once you start to become pretty good at your craft, then you can start to see things in slow motion. And when you see things in slow motion, you make good decisions. So prioritize your time, see life in slow motion, which takes time, and then make good decisions.
What are some challenges that the landscaping industry is facing, and how do you tackle those challenges?
I think it depends where you're at in the country. I mean, there's environmental laws that are always an issue. So I would say stay involved, with your local, associations, and, stay involved with the government, your senators and congressmen, because they only know what they know. And there's a lot of times when I meet with them and I share what we do, and I actually bring them out in the field, they have no idea what we do, which I understand that because they're in charge of a whole district. So how would they? So, once again, it goes back to that networking I talked about earlier. So have a good network with people that make legislative decisions. One, two, the labor pool is tough right now. You hear about everywhere. You can't find people. So I take a little different approach. I believe there's tons of people out there that are very qualified. You just got to create a business that would attract them. So instead of making it a negative, it's like, just build a better business and you'll have the people that'll come. So, to me, that's probably biggest challenge. Now there's day-to-day challenges right now, supply chain, getting trucks, getting equipment, but that stuff comes and goes. If it doesn't snow in the winter and you're doing snow removal, that's a tough part of the business. But I think if you ask the industry in general, it would be labor, and qualified labor. But we're doing pretty well in that department, and I think a lot of that is it's just because of our purpose and vision and mission as a company that really puts our team first in all we do. And so we build a people first organization because we're in a business that the only way to get work done is to do it. You can't look at it and expect it to get done. So you need a motivated team, an inspired team, somebody that wants to actually go out and do it. So I think it's a great time to get in this business. So if there's somebody listening to this that, wondering about their next career path, I think there's no better time because it is hard work and a lot of people don't want to work hard. So you just got to work a little bit harder than the next guy and you'll be successful.
Our goal with this video series is to help to connect students to career preparation. And many FFA members start their own small businesses as their supervised agricultural experiences. What advice would you give to an FFA member who wants to begin to grow their business like you did?
Yeah, so the first thing I would tell them, I think this is a great business to be in, the green industry, whether that's growing plant material, running a landscape business, turf care, golf course maintenance. And for me, being raised on, a dairy farm, around a dairy farm with my grandparents, it's the closest thing to farming. You get to grow grass, you get to grow trees, you get to run equipment, you get to be outdoors every day. So the only difference is the margins are way better. So it's been a great experience for me. I just kind of say that I'm farming shrubbery and farming grass. And, instead of pushing up silage in a big pile, we push up snow in a big pile. So it's very translatable to anybody, that would like to stay in, kind of the outdoor careers. But as far as, most people just give up too fast, is what I see. And when they get started, they think they know everything, because they've got the first few jobs. But to me, I'd say be curious. We have in state associations, national associations for landscape, and people are very, very helpful. So ask for help. I'd love to help anybody that's wondering, what it looks like to get in this business. But I think it's a good business. It's a good, honest business. You work hard, you get paid for what you get, what you do. And the other thing is it's so rewarding to take a property that's a bare piece of dirt and turn it into a green lawn and nice shrubbery. And then what's really exciting is when you see people go in the backyard and actually socialize and come together and get to spend time in this environment you created. So some of these big parks we build, I look at them as there's people that will, actually get engaged in those parks. There'll be people that, are maybe having a tough time in their life and they're walking through that park to reflect. So you can take this business and make it as deep as you want to make it for your own self personally. But yeah, so any young person that wants to get into the industry, there's no better time to do it. And the barrier of entry is pretty easy. I started when I was 14. So it's not that tough to do. You just got to be not afraid to work hard, treat your customers right and do a good job.
Going off of that, starting at 14, what can a student do right now to begin preparing for a career like yours?
Yeah, I think you need to walk before you run. Everybody's kind of gets, and it's different today. And I've watched it with my kids who are 22, 23, and 24. There's so much coming at you. You can jump on the YouTube and see 1,000 videos. I didn't have any of that. My senior year at Ohio State, I took a class called Introduction to the World Wide Web, which was the internet. So, and my phone was in a big bag that looked like a suitcase. And when it rung, the horn on the truck blew. That's a story. So I think sometimes you can look and get too much information. If you really dumb down this business, you're making tall grass short and you're planting plants. So keep it simple, walk before you run, and don't get too diversified. A lot of people want to be all things to all people, and then they're running around doing a bunch of little tasks that they're not making money on, and they can't focus on what they're good at. So in my particular case, I just mowed grass for 3 or 4 years. Then I started trimming shrubbery, and then I started doing landscaping. So everybody's path's different, but you got to be great at what you're doing in one aspect of your business before you'll even be good at the next. So if you try to do a bunch of stuff just good, then it starts to become poor, and then it starts to become you're out of business. So, to me, you got to be great at where you're at right now to be good at the next level. Mowing's an easy start. Or just do trimming. Somebody could just go out and trim shrubs and make, a good living doing that. So, but, walk before you run. Kind of the term delayed gratification, the younger generation struggles with. I did too when I was that age. So, but if you stick to it and you stay focused, you stay committed, you'll be amazed at how things start to compound.
Well, Todd, thank you so much for visiting with me. And I'm excited for Ohio FFA members to learn a lot more about your career. So thank you.
Yeah. Aubrey, anytime any of the FFA students that, would want to come and visit Enviroscapes in any of our locations, we always have an open door for that. Our website's growinggood.com. I'll connect these kids, with whoever they need to be connected with, because we need more people in this industry. And, it's a great industry. That's a good, honest industry to be in.
FFA develops our potential and helps us discover our talent through hands-on experiences, which gives us the tools to achieve real-world success. If you're interested in a career path similar to the one highlighted in this video, there are a couple of ways you can get started. One option to dive in and learn more is through a supervised agricultural experience. While completing an SAE, you will cultivate valuable employability skills while gaining work experience as a volunteer, a paid employee, or maybe even as your own boss. To learn more, visit saeforall.org or talk with your ag teacher. In addition, through career development events, you can put your knowledge to the test. Ohio FFA offers more than 40 CDEs. Here are a few CDEs that can help you further explore this career path. Ask your FFA advisor for more information on how to get involved. As FFA members, it's important for us to start making these connections and find future possibilities that align with our interests. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ohio FFA Career Connection, which is made possible by Ohio Corn and Wheat. Thanks for tuning in.